All right, so here we go. The session is absolutely getting recorded. All right. So what we have done as of now, my voice should also come in. All right, so what we have understood so far that we are starting with the Google AdWords account. We saw right from the beginning that how do we go ahead and start with a new Google AdWords account. The first thing which we did was we looked for the clickable link, clickable text asset, skip the guided setup, right? We saw that. We clicked onto that. The moment we clicked onto skip the guided setup, we were on a screen. We got a screen that said create your first campaign. We clicked on to create your first campaign, and then this is the first thing which we came to know, which we were able to see. So with that, we first of all started with all features, and all features when we have selected, we have selected the type. Underneath the type, there were several options. The type number one was search with display. We will click on that. Right, so search with display was there, search network, display, shopping, video, and universal app. Now I made a recommendation that never ever club across search with display, so I never recommend going to the first option because at the end of the day it would be very difficult to get reporting for both of them, segregated and so forth. So if you are going with the search network, start with search network. That's what we did, and then we have put in across a campaign name in order to make it simpler. We have taken across example, just keep on going. We have, in order to make it simpler, we have taken across example of Knowledge Wood website, and we are taking example that we are promoting the digital marketing course which is offered by Knowledge Wood. So our campaign name in this case is KW Digital Marketing Campaign. I was talking about the networks part. That display network is one thing which we have understood so far. Display network and Google Display Network is a term used for the set of all those websites, all those publishers' websites which have willingly approached Google, and they have said that we do want to offer space on our website, and this space is to be given across to advertisers, right? Advertisers who want to go ahead and promote across this stuff. And whenever there is a click on those ads, then there would be a particular amount of money they earn. Similarly, Google Search Network is another concept. Google Search Network consists of those websites which are owned and operated by Google. So some of the examples are like Google Map, Google Drive, Google Mail. You guys must have seen ads on them also. Yeah. Both of which third-party websites. Those are not any third-party websites. These are only Google's website, Google's product basically. If you want your ads not to be shown only on this Google search engine result, but you want the ads to be shown on other Google's product only owned by Google, which is Google Drive, Google Mail, Google Map, and blah blah blah, many others, then you can select Google Search Network. That's the only. So I hope the concept, the differentiation between Google Display Network and Search is clear. The Google Search Network. Google Search Network consists of all the Google's property, and Google Display Network consists of someone else's property, but they had a tie-up with Google. And the tie-up happened through Google AdSense as well, right? It's recommended to show your campaigns, show your search ads on search and partners, and they have been profitable. But the disadvantage is that we will not be able to get across reporting of the search network. So I will not be able to see that how many clicks came from Google ads shown on Google Drive, and how many clicks came from, how many clicks came from, ads shown onto Google Maps and so forth. It would be a cumulative total reporting altogether. Ye disadvantage. There is this disadvantage. Make sense? Questions any? Here, let's move further. Now the devices part I was talking about, and I have the opportunity as an advertiser to go ahead and do the targeting stuff, do the targeting from the perspective of devices also. then I know that my audience is majorly going to be searching from the mobile device, I'll select. When you start fresh, when you're starting your campaign for the first time, that time you're not given the option from the device's perspective. This option will be there for sure, but only once your ad has started running. There has some data which has poured in, that you've got certain impressions, certain clicks, or ads are being shown, certain conversions. Then Google will give you this option of editing and deciding that you want to show your ads only and only on mobile, only and only on tablets, or only and only on laptops, or all three of them, or any two of them. So these are the three devices basically: desktops and tablets and mobile. So you can select any combination and combination which you want, but not in the beginning of the creation of the ad or the campaign, but at a later stage when it will run for certain period. So let's go further. We cannot do anything with the devices. It's not editable as of now. All right, let's move a bit further down. Now comes in the next. Okay, so I think we've got quite a bit. Let's move a bit again onto the top. Okay, underneath devices we have the locations. So when we were talking about location targeting, as you can see, these all targeting options, whether it's devices, whether it's location, they're coming at a campaign level. This was level 2 when we were understanding the hierarchy part. In the level 2, which is campaign, these are the options which we have to configure. In the number 1 level, which was the account, there were only 2-3 settings option which we were seeing. Those 2-3 options, if you remember, it was the country, currency, time zone. Absolutely, these were the ones, and we put in a cursor email. Plus, there are furthermore, which I'll tell you. I mean, we can configure things like the account access, which I was telling you. That if I want to give across access of my individual account to some agency, that is also done at account level. That didn't come at that point of time, but I'll show you that comes in this gear icon which is there on the top right side one. The next to the bell thing, the bell and the gear icon. So this is for the bell icon and this is for the gear icon. So with the gear icon and the bell icon, we are able to actually configure a couple of more account settings. One is the account access. I can share it with anyone. And the other setting option is at the account level is the notifications I get. Usually Google tells us, gives us notification that your this ad is approved, this ad is disapproved, your budget is over, you need to increase your bid. These kind of suggestions Google will give you. If you want them in an email or you want just them to be over there, that is another setting which you do at an account. Okay, account level, most of the options I told you, campaign level we were in, which is level 2, and with campaign level we saw devices was one of the options, which is not editable as of now, but location being the number 2 setting, and in the campaign level, we can pick and choose the places where we want to show ad. Just in order to understand this stuff, let's type in across. First of all, let's start with the country. For just learning purpose, let's have country, and maybe let's type in across. First of all, click on to let me choose. So we want to choose across places of our choice. I know with knowledge wood example, we would definitely like to go for a small state, for a smaller targeting and so forth. But in order to learn, I'm asking you to pick and choose, let's say, a country which is, let's say, United Kingdom, Australia, and so forth. Let's try to add it. So you guys can also do simultaneously. So as you can see, it says United States. We can add United States. The moment we are typing United, all the options have come in. We can either add United Kingdom, United States, whichever one. It's just that we have to click add. Alright. So United States got added. I can add any other country of my choice. So Canada being there, and then I click on to add. So there are 3 options: add, exclude, and nearby. So we need to know what are these 3 really means. Let's click on to add. Perfect. So what has happened? There are 2 countries which have been selected. Anyone who will be searching for keywords, which I will be putting in, and searching within these countries will only be able to. Now I told you the exclusion part also with the help of that example, that if I select entire India and I exclude Gujarat as a state, or I exclude Goa as a city, I can do that. Similarly, let's say if Canada total is being included. Let's say there is some product which I do not want to sell in the Toronto region. So I can select Toronto, and this time I will be excluding it, not including it. So Toronto, which is a place in Canada, I am typing that across, and as you can see on the top, there is add, exclude, and nearby. This time we click on to exclude, the second one. So what is happening? The entire Canadian country is being targeted by me, and then I'm excluding only one city of the entire Canada region, which is Toronto. Makes sense? The inclusion and the exclusion. Entire country is chosen, but one of the cities has been excluded across. Now this is country level targeting. I can do a city level and city level exclusion. I can select a new city, with, let's say, which is not part of any of these two countries. Maybe I can choose it across, let's say, Sydney in Australia. So Sydney comes in New South Wales, Australia. It's a city. I can go ahead and click on to add. So what I've done, I have gone ahead and added two countries and excluded one of the cities of those, which is part of one of the countries being selected. And I have added another city which is part of some other third country, right? This is just for the purpose of learning right now. Now the fourth thing which we can do from moving from, even I can select any state also. I can select, if you want to select, let's say, Uttar Pradesh, or Uttar Pradesh we will not, because in Noida we have to count Noida. The other one which we can select is, let's say, Gujarat, absolutely. Let's try to add in another, or from the state level. So Gujarat is a state in India, so we can click on to add over here. So we have got a city selected, we have got a couple of countries selected, we have got a state selected. In terms of exclusion, we can exclude a city, we can exclude a state also, right? The way we have excluded a city, we can even exclude a state. Now, let's remove all of them. I think the concept is clear. Now we go as per what our campaign is needed. All right. So let's click on to let me choose.
To remove it.
Remove. Absolutely. Remove all of them. So you understood that this can be done. Now, since our example over here is to go ahead and target across people in the nearby areas, right? People in the nearby areas who have a demand, who have a need for learning digital marketing. That's my overall, targeting. Basically, I'm looking to target those people. So, from the location perspective, what is the zip code of this place?
201303.
Are you sure?
301 or 303.
Okay, let's type in the zip code. Let's see whether the zip code is part of Google's directory or not. And so, why is this that this particular zip code is not shown over here? Because majorly the metro zip codes are actually available. If I type in across any zip code of New Delhi, you might get to see. So, for India, basically, as of now, only certain metro zip codes have been considered. So this is probably not there in the database, that's why it's not there. Let's try to choose Noida from the city perspective. So this is Noida 650. Let's try to choose from Noida. Alright, so let's click on to add. Now the entire Noida location has been selected, but I was telling you that we can pick and choose a particular central point which can be my business, and from there I can go ahead and do a radius targeting. With that being said, let's do a nearby. Let's click on to nearby, which is for Noida only. Let's click on to nearby. Now, once we have received this, once we have got this, let's click onto this button which is right underneath the search. You'll see on the screen over here. This one, this button.
This one?
Yeah, absolutely. So the moment you click onto this button, can you see there are several zip codes which are coming in? Noida is shown across as one particular zip code altogether, so they are not segregated. Did you try to click onto that button? So with that being said, in this bar, in this search bar, let's try to type in Noida. Okay, one thing. Okay, click on to radius targeting. So forget this. Click on to radius targeting on the top. Okay. Now when I have clicked across, guys, on radius targeting, there is this bubble thing, this bubble which is coming right over here.
Yes.
Right, click onto this bubble. Now, once you have clicked onto this, whenever you will now click anywhere on the map, that portion would be taken across as a central point. Now, if you zoom in further into the map, then by zooming in, by clicking onto this plus sign and minus sign, can you zoom further and find out where we are sitting right now? So this is all sector 43, 60, 137. Let's move further to sector 63. So Great India Place Mall is right over here. Okay, here comes sector 63. इसमें zoom in कर रहे हैं. Okay, no problem. I got it. What exactly happened? So इसे cancel करो. So just cancel this. नीचे done and cancel करते हैं, right? So click on to cancel. Okay. Click on to nearby once again. And let's zoom in further. Let's zoom in further in the map to the place where we are right now. First of all, zoom in. And further, now let's move towards sector 63. Right. अब इसमें भी sector 63 में भी zoom in करते हैं, E45 घूमते हैं.
इसी में plus sign.
Fortis Hospital भी आ गया. 63 भी आ गया.
This is D.
D block, and we have to find E block, right?
Should I zoom more? I think
Yeah, I think so.
so. JP.
I'm bad with the places around.
Panic office.
Shall we make it quick and take any of those places as a central point? I think you guys have understood the concept. We can go ahead and zoom in, and once we have found out the place where our location is, let's say I am, what do you say, NIT Tech, Noida Port, alright? Let's say I am Noida Port. So Noida Port being the central location, what I'll do, I'll click onto now radius targeting on the right hand side. Then click onto this bubble icon again. And bubble icon को बिल्कुल Noida Port पे we have to go ahead and put that across. You click onto the bubble icon. Now click on Noida Port. So that Noida Port thing has been taken across as a central point, and 20 miles radius has been taken. So this 20, which you're seeing over here, 20 right over here, is being taken as the radius basically. Central point is that Noida Port which we have selected. We can do 5, and then miles here, kilometers we can do. So if we click onto mile drop down, it will come as kilometers also. I can take kilometers just because in India it's more of kilometers we use. And then instead of 20, I can do, let's say 2, 3, 4, whatever, or 5 maybe. All right. Now, what will happen? Click on to search. As you can see, that portion which was there in sector 63, let's say this is knowledge world, central point I have chosen, and I have selected all this area which is right over there. Let's click on to done. Save me one. Some issue. Otherwise, it should have got saved. Okay, yeah, you got the concept right.
Yeah.
Strange.
Should I again do it?
You want to do it? Alright.
I'll do it.
Take it again. Bit faster. Now, what you have to do, you have to zoom in further. Can you use sector 63? Let's go to radius targeting. Are you guys facing any troubles? All of them? All right. So that being the center, and radius being let's say 5 kilometers. Okay, I forgot. Sorry. Instead of search, click on to add. So last time this is a mistake we did. Click on the add button. Okay, I'm so sorry. That was my mistake. Then click on to done. Okay, now it's been done. Last time actually we didn't click on to add. That was my mistake. Alright, so that's how. Now I can go ahead and remove the Noida one. So if what I am doing, I have selected only that portion which is in and around 20 kilometers of radius, taking the central point, which is this valid point. Makes sense? Are we clear with all the locations currently? Was it interesting? Right. Let's we can remove the Noida one. Okay. Let's go further. The location options, guys. The location options when you scroll further. Advanced search we do not have to do. Location options, advanced. Okay, location we avoided that. Okay, the advanced, forget it as of now. This might confuse you. The languages option, sorry. Languages. In the languages section, what you can see, it's also editable. And why is it saying that the English being there? We usually feel that Google is there in English, but we do, most of us are aware that Google is not providing search engine in English language. Google has got Google Hindi, Google French, and so on. So just like Google Hindi and Google English, there are multiple languages for multiple languages in which Google has created their search engines. So if you are targeting, let's say, somebody, your audience is there in the French, France, and the French-speaking people, and they use only Google French. So you can go ahead and create across ads targeting those people, like France stuff. As of now, to keep it simple, we use only edit. We use only English. We can go ahead and click on to edit just to see which all different languages options are over there. But as you can see, multiple languages are over there. People who use Google Hindi, we can go ahead and target them also. As of now, to keep it simple, we know with knowledge books, the kind of audience who wants to do digital marketing course, they are more or less Google English users only. I mean, I'm going with the understanding I have about the audience. Otherwise, it will differ from business to business for sure. Let's keep it simple by having English. Let's scroll further down. Scroll further down. And then comes in bid strategy. Now, when I told you that bid part was being made, was explained by me, saying that it is the maximum amount, bid means the maximum amount, which I as an advertiser wants to go ahead and pay, or I'm willing to pay for every click which will happen. We understood that bid and actual cost of click are two different things. So actual CPC is not there, which will come later on. Over here, we're saying a new thing which is bid strategy. Now, when I made you understand about bid, you guys must have understood that the bid has to be put in manually by us, right? I go to Google AdWords, I change the bid today, I'm putting cost 20 rupees, I can change it to 25, I can change it to 30, I can change it to 40, I can increase, decrease at any given point of time. That's what I've told you. But let's say I'm a busy person, okay? And I say to Google AdWords, and Mr. Google AdWords, is there a way that you can look after my entire, Google AdWords account and do bidding on my behalf? I can give a cross authority to Google AdWords, which is the technology, I tell the technology, this platform, that please, Mr. Google AdWords, you take the responsibility, I give you the authority to increase the bid on my behalf. I'm a busy person, I do not have time to log in every day. Now, this usually works across for the small businesses. If we talk about Amazon and all the other bigger players who are absolutely day in and day out working on internet, they do not go for this option of asking Google AdWords. But for a small and medium enterprises who do not want to hire a person also for Google AdWords running, they don't want to spend that salary, that amount, and they want to create themselves, that's a one-time effort, and then they only want to come back to Google AdWords after 4 days, 5 days. In that case, they give entire authority to Google AdWords and they tell Google AdWords, please increase my bid, decrease my bid, now on certain conditions, certain business rules. So these business rules are basically called bid strategy, and that bid strategy portion are of 2 kinds. One is the normal manual one. Manual one is when I want to manually go ahead and change the bid at any given point of time. If I have put in 10 rupees, I can, it's my responsibility to go ahead and change it whenever I want to. Manual one is not at all passed on. That responsibility is not passed on to the AdWords in the manual one. But the other one which I'm telling you, where I as an advertiser feels that this is a very time-taking task, I'm a busy person, I want to give opportunity, I want to give authority, and I'm passing on my overall work to Google AdWords of this bidding stuff. There are certain automatic bidding, which are there. So when you click on to bid strategy in the underneath the drop down over here, you'll find several bid strategies over here. So automated ones are quite many. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 bid strategies are over there. All these 6 bid strategies which you're seeing over here, they all are having one common thing, and that one common thing is that if we select any one of these out of these 6 automated, it means that first of all we are giving authority to Google AdWords to increase or decrease our bid. When we will be selecting any one out of these 3, we will be also putting across a cap limit. A cap limit in the sense the maximum amount which we are bidding with. We will tell to Google that Mr. Google AdWords, please increase the bid, decrease the bid on my behalf, but keep in mind that let's say 50 rupees per click is the maximum cap. I don't want to pay more than that. You can either do it 49, you can change from, if I've given you a cap of 50, you can change the bid to 49, to 40, to 10, to 20, to 30, but you cannot make it 50 rupees and 1 paisa also, because I've given you a cap. In the manual one also, the bidding there is a cap, but in the manual one, if I have put in 50, I would have to go ahead and decrease the bid to 40. There's a difference. There's a difference in automated and manual one. When I have given a cap, it doesn't mean that my bid is 50 only. In automated one, if I have given a cap of 50, which is a maximum, Google will in that case, Google AdWords will sometimes set my bid to be 49, sometimes to 48. A cap is not the bid basically. Cap is the maximum bid which I am letting Google know that this is the maximum which you can set in my bid, but not more than that. A cap and a bid, a maximum bid cap and the bid are 2 different things. So this is more than that. Now let me keep it simple. Do not get confused with this. The most appropriate and the recommended bid strategy is the manual one. The manual one, which is the manual bidding, manual CPC. Okay, we'll go with this. All the other ones are pretty higher level stuff. Okay, and this is used across in various different scenarios. These business and different automated ones, when I was telling you that we gave across certain, certain inputs to Google AdWords that please increase or decrease my bid. In such and such scenarios, these scenarios are, when we ask scenario 1, we ask Google AdWords to, we tell Google AdWords that this is my maximum bids which I can pay, and this is my maximum budget per day. And keeping my budget, you have to give me maximum conversions, number 1 option. Or keeping this budget and my bid in mind, you have to give me maximize. So you are passing on your entire effort, you're passing on your entire work to Google, and you're telling Google, either I want maximum clicks, or I want maximum conversions, or I want my ads position always to be on the top page. Ultimately, you are trying to reduce your work by opting in for this. But as per my experience and other digital marketing experience, the automated ones are not so good. Because the kind of effort, the kind of brains which humans can put in, the technologies are not able. So that's why we always choose for the manual bidding. So manual CPC. Manual in the sense, I am going ahead and typing across a bid of my choice. I'm changing it at any time. Let's keep it simple. I don't want to confuse you with the automated versions, what all of those are, but I'll give you an understanding.
But if you can just let me know, what is this share one? What is target outranking share?
All right. Outranking share is that I tell to Google AdWords that my maximum budget, my budget per day is let's say 500, and my 50 rupees is my maximum bid. And when I select outranking share, I'm telling Google with 50 rupees per click, my highest bid per click, and 500 rupees my budget per day, I want you to increase or decrease the bid, keeping in mind that my competitors should be outranked from mine. And
I should always be on top.
Top wala is the first one, search page location. The outranking share is the impression share, basically. Impression share in the sense that if I have a keyword which is digital marketing training, and my competitors also are eyeing for the same keyword, digital marketing training. So all those keywords for which I'm running my ad are similar to what my competitors are. I want my ads to be there on most of the times, the impressions. So over here, outranking share is more to do with the impressions, basically. So this is more, I would say, more detailed. If you still want a quick explanation to those, search page location over here, we are giving information to, Google to please increase the bid or decrease the bid, but keep in mind that my search page location should be number one first page. I can even define the first page, I want to be always on the top also. I can define on the first page, I would prefer either on top or on bottom, any of those. But page number should be one. I can define even my cost per acquisition should not be more than 50. I can even define that. So these are some more complicated, but trust me, these are not so good. ROAS stands for return on ad spend. Return on investment, basically. Whatever money I'm spending on ads, I want a certain percentage return out of it. So there are plenty of calculations which happen. This is more advanced and complicated. Outranking share, I've told you, maximize clicks is all about that. You tell Google that 50 rupees is my bid, that's how much I'm willing to pay, 500 is my budget. I want you to focus not on conversions. I don't want you to focus on the ranking. I want you to focus more on the clicks. I want my ads to be displayed in certain scenarios when I get across the maximum. And that too with the budget constraint and the bid constraint which I'm giving. Google doesn't really do that. In usual scenarios, Google is not able to, because had that been possible, everyone would have really gone for this. The other would have gone for this last option, which is called Enhanced CPC. And with Enhanced CPC, we are able to tell Google that the overall conversion cost should be this much. Enhanced CPC actually stands for this, which is that my every particular product which I'm selling, I should across a sale for just 50 rupees. If I know the cost of my product is this and the amount which I'm letting Google know that I want to sell it at a marketing cost of 20, so 50 my product cost, 20 I'm telling to Google that for every particular product you should not charge more than 20 for selling it. 70 comes out to be my total cost. I can this way always make profits. That doesn't really happen. Nobody gives guarantee. It's just like, taking a commission. I'm letting Google know that for every single conversion, I'm going to give you this much conversion. Google never does that. They have given you these options, but they don't really. Manual CPC is the best and the optimum one. If you want to read more about it, you can definitely do that, but this is more, I would say, advanced level. Let's go with the manual CPC. Default bid, we can put in across anything just to start with. Now, the default bid, usually people say, how do we really come up with the default bid? So, when we were doing a keyword analysis, if you remember, there was suggested bids which were there. Right? When you have actually done your overall working for keyword analysis, with the help of keyword analysis tool, the keyword planner tool, you will be offered suggested bid, which you can really be part of it. I'll share the videos with you on email. The keyword analysis was being done. And in the keyword analysis sheet, if you remember in the keyword planner tool, there was suggested bids. Right? So let's say the suggested bids were 10 rupees, 15 rupees, 20 rupees. So keeping that ballpark in mind, you put across a figure. One thumb rule which I want to tell you, when you start a new campaign or a new Google account, never opt in for a lower bid. Lower bid in the sense whatever is suggested, somewhere closer to that or maybe a bit higher than that. So if you will try to bid in across lesser in the initial stage, you might fall back. this bid amount should actually keep on getting decreased as your campaign will keep on getting matured. So initially the only way your ad will be on the top is going to be bid, because initially your quality score will not be there. As we know, the ad rank is calculated on the basis of bid and the quality score, these two things. Initially, your quality score is not there because your ad has not run, CTR has not been calculated, and landing page relevancy and the ad relevancy is something also which is looked by Google when your ad will run. So the quality score is not taken into consideration, only bid is taken into consideration. So push your bid higher, at least for a week or 2 weeks. Try to capture across maximum, the better position with the help of the highest bid, better bid. When you will have higher bid, your ad will start showing in the topmost positions and so forth, because quality score is there. I'm not saying guaranteed, it's guaranteed that it will be there on the first page, so forth, but the chances are going to be there. You'll have data to play around with. You will be able to see then after some interval of time the quality score. Then slowly and steadily improve your campaigns from the quality score perspective. Let's say quality score is being shown it's 4, 5, 6. When you find that quality score is this, click-through rate maybe is one of the factors which is not helping you improve, or either the landing page relevancy or the ad relevancy. These are the 3 factors where quality score is dependent upon. You work on majorly the landing page and the ad relevancy. Automatically CTR will also improve, and ad relevancy, the ad text will be improved by you. When you improve those, your quality score improves from let's say 4 to 6 to 8 and so forth. You put more focus on improving quality score. As and when the quality score will keep on improving, keep on decreasing the bid. That's the overall thumb rule which you need to take. If you will go straight away initially with a lower bid, things will not work. The investment has to come in initially. That's the right approach which everybody takes in terms of saving on money, getting across better results.
So different keywords have different bid amount.
Yes.
So are we going to concentrate on any one keyword at that moment of time, or take an average of all and then?
Okay, that's a great question. See, bids are done across at 2 levels. Bids can be changed either at a keyword level or at an ad group level. Now, when I told you ad group is the level 3 in the hierarchy, and in the level 4, underneath every ad group, in the level 4, there were 2 things, ads and keywords, right? You can put across a bid at an ad group level. When you put across a bid at an ad group level, let's say $5. So under that ad group, let's say you've got 15 to 20 different keywords. For every 20 keywords, for all those 20 keywords, the default would be $5 only. Because collectively in the ad group, you have put in a bid for $5. Automatically, all the keywords will have the bid as $5 only. This is one thing. Now, if you say, why can't I really go ahead and put across a different bid for every keyword? You can do that also. So for all those 20 keywords, you want 10 of them to be having $5 only. But for the remaining 10, you want to have either 4, 3, 2, 1, 1.5, 5.1, 5.6, 6 and so forth. You can even change that. So I'm saying it again. Bid can be changed at 2 levels. One is the ad group and the other is the keyword level. The performance when you see, the quality score which you see it also at a keyword level. So it takes a lot of effort to make changes at a keyword level and see things at a keyword level, but that is the right approach. Change your bids at the keyword level. Look at the quality score. Quality score is always given at a keyword level, never at an ad group level or a campaign. There is no score for campaign. There is no quality score for ad group. There is no quality score for ads. There is only and only quality score which is given for the keyword.
And we can specifically check which keyword is performing well.
Absolutely.
on daily basis.
Absolutely. Keyword level reporting is something which you should go for. You can find for all the keywords mentioned over there, which keyword is giving you a better quality score, what's the bid on that, and how much conversions have you received. And the keywords which are giving you conversions, you can even check at what given point of time these conversions came in. Whether the conversions came in during the afternoon hours, morning hours, during Sundays, during Mondays.
Time specific.
Absolutely, all of that is possible. See, this is very fast. I would say if I'll be teaching you this for another 2 months and so forth, even then I can keep on teaching. But there are so many things over here. That's what. So initially, the overall basics which I'm telling you are good enough to give you a start, give you a boost to start ahead, and once more practice will happen, you'll come through know so many things. And if there's something new, I always recommend Google is there. Go ahead and search it across. But at least you will not have problem in understanding things because the basics have now been understood. What is CTR, what is cost per acquisition, and so forth, all these things have been clear. Now, as you can see, the bid which we are putting across over here, you might say bid to हम campaign level पे type कर रहे हैं, right? But if you read this line, it says this bid applies to the first ad group. Whichever first ad group you put in, this bid will apply to that. So I was telling, the bid is actually put in across at two levels, either at a keyword level or at ad group. Usually, the best mode is to go ahead and put in across bids, change them across on a keyword level, because quality score is also given at a keyword level. There is no quality score given for the entire campaign. There is no quality score given for the entire ad group. There is no quality score given across for the entire AdWords account. Definitely, a smaller quality score is being there for all of these things, but that's not given to us. That's Google only gives us quality score for the keywords, and this default bid which we are putting in right now is going to be applied to the first ad group. Every single keyword which we put in the first ad group will have the same bid. But later point of time, when I'll be done with creation of my campaign and ad group and so forth, I can individually pick and choose all these keywords which are going to be underneath this specific campaign and the ad group, first ad group. And I can change them from 10 to 10.1, 10.4, 10.5, whatever I want. This is just an initial figure which is needed by Google for sure. But at any given point of time, I can change further and keyword level. I know this is a lot of content, guys. There could be a situation where you might because in one single day you cannot expect everything to get into your head and you try perform it. But let's look at the most important and the most things which you cannot skip across at all. The other thing is budget per day, which is your total amount which you are willing to spend in a day, and it can be less or whatever you put in across the default bid as
Right. I mean,
let's say 100.
100.
Okay, perfect. Now, up till here, things are clear: language, location, bid strategy, right? The basics of bid strategy I told you, but I haven't really got in depth of it because I don't want to be confused. In one session, if I teach you everything, you might get. Bid part you have understood. That bid part over here is a maximum amount which you're willing to pay, and it's done at an ad group level. You might get confused that if it's a campaign setting, why ad group level are you saying? This is actually going to be applied to the first ad group. Then the budget, we know it's a per day. Budget is always done across, put in across at a campaign level. Budget per day is always put in across at a campaign level. The next thing which comes in, this is all search ads. The next thing which comes in is delivery method.
Should I click on it?
Now, in order to explain you the delivery method part, I would like to ask you a question. Let's say my daily budget is 100 per day, and my bid is, let's say, 10 rupees. Now, as you know, what I bid for and what I pay for are two different things. Usually, I'm going to be charged less than that.
Yes.
I might be charged 8 rupees or 9 rupees and whatever, depending on the second highest bidder, 1 cent more or 1 rupee more than the second highest bidder. If I have 100 daily budget, and let's say the amount which I am paying, actual CPC is 5 rupees. Okay. So if actual CPC is 5 and my budget is 100, how many clicks will I get across in a day?
20.
My actual CPC, which I'm paying is 5. My daily budget is 100. How many clicks will I get with that 100 rupees I have in my pocket?
20.
How much? Sure, 20. Okay. 100 rupees मेरे पास है और 5 रुपए में हर एक क्लिक में दे रहा हूँ, तो 20 क्लिक आए. With that being said, I'm trying to make you understand delivery. Let's say I start my ad today. I start my ad at 12 midnight. मैं ad scheduling इसमें नहीं करता. 12 midnight I start and 12 midnight, which is I run it for 24 hours. When I run my ads for 24 hours, what will happen? It might happen that my 100 rupees budget is a pretty lower budget. Lower budget in the sense that it might get exhausted within half an hour. 12 बजे रात को start हुआ 12 midnight and within half an hour, I get 20 clicks, my budget is over, my ad will stop then and there. For the remaining 23 hours and 15 minutes. Because this is a daily budget, every single day my 100 rupees will be there in, which will keep getting, for which I will keep showing across my ad and so forth. With that being said, there is a disadvantage in this kind of situation when I have a smaller budget. The disadvantage which comes across is that I am not able to show my ads to the other audience, which will be there and which will search for those terms which I have set up in the morning hours, in the afternoon hours, in the late evening, so forth. It might happen that the audience which are there to convert, which are serious audience, that might come in the morning hours, or they might come in the late evening hours. What is happening? Because of my smaller budget, it keeps getting exhausted in the very first round. So what happens is I can spread out. I can tell Google AdWords that please spread out my AdWords budget in the entire time period which I have selected. If I have selected 24 hours, my 100 rupees will be, let's say, segregated across 24 hours in a way that 10 rupees in the first 2 hours, another 10 rupees in another 2 hours, another 10 rupees in another 2 hours. What will happen? When 10 rupees will be deducted in the first 2 hours, it will be done, then next 2 hours. So automatically, evenly spreading is happening. If you read the very first line, in the delivery method, it says standard. It says optimize delivery of ads, spending budget evenly over time. This way, you will get a flavor of the audience which is coming in the different intervals of time, the different intervals of your entire day. थोड़ा बहुत फ्लेवर पता चल जाएगा कि क्या ज़्यादा performance whether it's good in the morning hours, in the evening hours, in the afternoon hours. Make sense? Any questions? Any doubts you have on that question? Sure. In the accelerated way, if we go, what will happen? The overall ad will run only for that time period till the clicks are exhausted. When clicks will keep coming. So at 12 o'clock we will start and 100 rupees till the time 100 rupees are not exhausted throughout, my ad will keep running. My budget will not be spread out throughout the day. So from 12 midnight, let's say till 12:30, my budget is exhausted. It is. My 10 rupees, 10 rupees, 10 rupees bifurcation throughout the day will not happen in the accelerated manner. So this is one delivery method. The recommended one is standard. I know there are several options over here.
Right. Yeah, I mean, this will be more recommended for the restaurants who have a specific time period. They want to show their ads maybe half an hour before.
This is recommended. Standard is recommended for every specific card. It's a majorly business. Yeah. Only people who have got huge amount of money, who have got deep pockets, they can run accelerated. So restaurants and all that, for that time scheduling, the local businesses or people who have got businesses where they have got certain time period to be selected, we have that option. So let's say I'm in the event industry and I've got I'm let's say publicizing an event which is happening on New Year. I know that during the New Year period, I want this ad of mine to get stopped on 31st of December at 12 midnight. Maybe I am also partying around and I forget to stop the ad manually. I can actually put the, time and date when my ad should stop. Restaurant example is a pretty good example to understand this concept of ad scheduling. We do ad scheduling as we move. But this delivery method is a bit different from that. Oh, so over here the budget is getting spread out, usually for the time period. Let's say out of 24 hours which I have selected, I have selected out of 24 hours, I have selected 22 hours. Even in 2 hours, the spreading out of budget. Out of 24 hours, if I'm running my ads only for 2 hours, even within 2 hours, my 100 rupees will get bifurcated for the initial minutes, then the another minutes, then the another set of minutes. All in all, it would not happen that in the first 5 minutes my 100 rupees are gone and gone. I am not able to see the performance of my campaign in the remaining 1 hour and 55 minutes. For the remaining 1 hour and 55 minutes, I want the ads performance to be shown for that particular purpose and go with the standard. Make sense? Question, right? I'm sorry, not in any questions. Alright, so bid strategy we did, default bid we are done with, budget per day, delivery methods we have understood. Now, the next thing is going to be ad extensions. Questions for it? Okay. Alright. Now the ad extensions if we talk about, before creating the ad extensions options are coming up over here, so this might become a bit difficult to understand. What all features, what all elements are there in the ad that is going to come at the ad group level. Ad extension is something which comes at a campaign level. An ad extension, as the name says, extension to your ad. Every time your ad is being created, it has got certain default elements. Certain default elements like there is a headline 1, headline 2, and then a description. Anything more than that ad extensions are like, there's always, sometimes there's a call button, there's a bubble, the location bubble. All these things are not part of your default advertisement copy which you create. The default advertisement copy has got only 3-4 options. Headline 1, headline 2, description, and also the display URL. And then there is something called final URL, which I'll talk about as we move further. After this entire campaign has been created, we'll create the ad. But just to let you know, anything more than your default advertisement copy, which is your 4 lines, basically headline 1, then headline 2, the description line, and the display URL. Any content more than that is an ad extension. I think I talked about this yesterday, and I was showing you 4 ads on the top. I was asking you to observe one thing, that one of the ad has got 5 lines, and another ad has got 4 lines or 3 lines. Right? That's what. So the ad which has got more lines, there are certain ad extensions on the videos. And the purpose of using across ad extensions, I told you, is to go ahead and occupy, first of all, more space in the search engine result page. The more space your ad is occupying, the more real estate your ad is occupying, better visibility will be having. Isn't it quite obvious? I mean, this is, you guys must have observed that our eyeballs sticks more to an ad which is more bigger in size as compared to a very smaller ad. The very first moment, the very first glance we have at ads they all look haphazard. They look like ad. They all look at, all are like very similar, very similar to each other. It's just that one is on the top, the other one is on the second position, and the third. Then we start looking at which one to look at. Either we look at these ads on the basis of the size, the bigger one, or on the basis of the rank they have. The first one is the ad which is ranking on the first position, we give usually that one a preference. Or sometimes we can give preference to that ad which is having more real estate, more space. In other ways, so one is the real estate is there, more eyeballs comes in, more eyeballs are there, then usually the chances of clicks also happen. If more clicks will happen, definitely the CTR will improve. The number of times my ad will be shown for that particular number of times, if I am getting good number of clicks, right, my CTR will keep getting improved as compared to a scenario when the number of clicks are normal for whatever number of times it's been shown. So I told an example. Scenario number one, I'm getting 100 impressions for my ad without ad extensions. Scenario number two, with ad extensions also 100 impressions, both. I haven't spoken about clicks. Without ad extensions and with ad extensions, 100 impressions and 100 impressions. Now, without one might get me 10 clicks, and with ad extensions might get me 20 clicks. That's the kind of a benefit we usually get. Same number of impressions, but in a scenario when we have no ad extensions and ad extensions. With ad extensions, we can actually get more number of clicks. The number of clicks really improves, and better the CTR, better the quality score, better the quality score, better the ad rank, and better the ad rank, it's all vicious cycle, right? We'll be able to spend less, we'll decrease the bid, and we'll be able to save in more money, right? More conversion. Makes sense? So this is the benefit of having ad extensions. Now these ad extensions are of different types. The major, I would say, renowned or common ad extensions which you guys must have seen would be there on your mobile phones. When you actually go on your mobile phones and search for something, you usually must have seen that call button. Have you seen the call button?
Yes.
And even if, so let's say I'm in sector 63, I'm tagging across good nearby Chinese restaurants, all right? Usually these restaurants, they use across these extensions, but then the local businesses, the call button is there. The moment if I'm searching, I'm seeing the ad of a Chinese restaurant, and right next to the Chinese restaurant ad, which has got a headline 1, headline 2, and a description line and a search and a URL basically, there will also be a call button which is going to be clickable on. So I'll explain this all to you in ad extensions after we're done with the other parts. So these needs to be taken across separately. I think next Saturday because this is quite massive topic, right? We don't have much that time. So I'll try to cover this up. The other remaining part, but ad extensions we'll cover up in next Saturday. So that is one. Call extension is one where we go ahead and just click, and as a user, the moment I'll click on the call button, automatically the phone call will ring. The phone will ring. So I do not have to get into that trouble of seeing the phone number. Clicking on the ad, going to that Chinese restaurant's website, then clicking on the contact us page, seeing the phone number, and then from another phone on the same phone, I have to shuffle across and then dial the number. That kind of a trouble is not there. This is an extra functionality. User friendliness is there, right? Then similarly, let's say the location extension, which is a very common extension there. That also comes majorly on the mobile phones, since our mobile phones are connected with Google Maps and navigation and so forth. So the moment I have typed in nearby Chinese restaurants, either I can call them up or I can straight away go to their place. I can go to the restaurant. If that restaurant has got an ad, not just with the call extension call ad extension being there, but also location ad extension that used, this will be an ease for me. How it is an ease for me, how it is beneficial for me. When I want to visit that place, what I do, I'll click onto a location extension which will come. Location extension looks like a bubble. That same bubble thing which we have putting, that similar bubble figure is there. I'll click onto that bubble figure, it will have the address. Now I don't have to get into that habit of copying that entire address, putting it across in the Google Maps. That all trouble is again vanished. I'll just click onto the bubble, automatically Google Map app is going to open up. It will tell me this is where you are, this is where your end destination is, and how much time you're taking. So these are the benefits which a couple of ad extensions I have discussed that they give you. And similarly, more ad extensions are there which help you as an advertiser to express more stuff about your product, more stuff about your business, and ultimately this more stuff, more opportunity to give across content is there for the purpose of attracting the audience. First is by occupying more space, and second is by putting across attractive wordings. So there are a lot of wordings, there are a lot of text which you will be able to play across. We'll talk about all of these, and these all come underneath site links and apps. Even if you've got an app, just try and do that. So if you were actually, let's say, booking across movies on Book My Show, and let's say you are not aware of Book My Show, and you're typing on Google, book a movie ticket, you'll see Book My Show's example, Book My Show ads coming up with a mobile app icon. It will say, why don't you go ahead and download across? So an ad will be there. Even if you try to type in, let's say, order food online and so forth, you will find Food Panda's app icon also to be there. Amazon also does that very massively. We'll understand all these in detail later on because that's a more vast topic. And even reviews. So if people have given us reviews on our website, we can feature them in our ad. I think the other day when we were seeing ad extensions, I was asking you to observe that one of the ad has got 3 lines, the other ad has got 4 lines. There was a review from an Economic Times or something, right? It was yesterday or some other day. Right? So we'll learn all this as we move further in the next session. The next thing is schedule start date and the end date and ad scheduling. The same thing which we were talking about. All right, so if I know that my campaign has to start at this time and end at this time, I can define. Let's say I want to start from 26th Feb and I want to end it by 31st of March. I can go ahead and do that also. Right, just click over here and
should I write?
Yeah, click on that arrow thing and instead of Feb, it will be, let's say March we want to go to. So right next to Feb, there is an arrow. Absolutely, click on this. March, and then you can select 31st March. Right. So the dates have been defined by me that automatically my ad should really get stopped on 31st of March. And if I go for the ad scheduling, which is further option, let's click on to create custom schedule. Now right over here, I can define when my ad should run and when my ad should not. If I know that with knowledge with, let's say, people who are very keen in learning digital marketing and so forth, they do more of their searches and then their office. I'm just taking an example. I haven't really judged that. That all judgment comes in when you run ads and then you see when which are those days and which are those hours when actually conversions are coming in. It's always recommended that when you start fresh and you do not have an idea what are those days and what are those times where you get conversions, you leave this open. You leave this open in the sense you run it on all 7 days, you run it on all 24 hours. When conversions will start coming in, then you try to put in across scheduling filters. All right. But if you want to get a feel of it, you can put across certain, let's say, filters over here. Let's try with Monday. Monday we can define across any. So let's have maybe 12 midnight to 2 midnight and so forth. So it's 12 midnight to. So we can do absolutely. So these are the minutes. So 12:15, 12:20, 12:30, 12:45. I can do, let's say, to 2 midnight. This is just for the purpose of understanding. This is 2 p.m. basically. We can go for 2 a.m. This is 2 midnight or 2 in the night. Then I can do again for Monday itself. So let's say at 2 o'clock I wanted to stop, and then again at 4 o'clock in the morning, for Monday only I want to start it again.
Add?
Yeah, add, absolutely. Now instead of all days again I can do Monday. So there are several permutation and combination which I can have, right? Totally depending upon what sort of conversion values have given me, what sort of inputs my conversion value has given me. If my conversion value has told me that there's hardly any conversions during this period of time, I will really exclude that time, right? I have been getting clicks, but I have not been getting conversions for a certain period of time, I exclude it. But initially we run it on for entire day, for the entire bandwagon, so that I let the ad to perform, and I want the ad to tell me what particular portion, what particular time is favorable when I get conversions. I can now go ahead and put in across, let's say, now I can start it at 4 a.m. now. So Monday 4 a.m. on the other side instead of 12. So what's happening? My ad started at 12 and then stopped at 2. Then there was a 2 hours break, and then 4 hours, 4 a.m. to, let's say, 6 a.m. again. And then got another 2 hours on that. Now this is just for the purpose of making you understand how it's being done. I can pick and choose Monday to Fridays also as an option. Usually what happens, most of the businesses, they do want to run only on Mondays to Fridays and no Saturdays. All right, and let's go further. Do you guys want a break or something? I think we will be done in another 10-15 2 to 3 minutes, and then you can go for your lunch breaks and we wrap up by then. Okay, all these other options are advanced level, so we can go ahead and click on to save and continue. Alright, so the campaign level has gone now, guys. Campaign level has been performed by us. When we were looking at the hierarchy, if you remember, the the account was at level 1, the level 1 hierarchy. The level 2 hierarchy, campaigns, we are done with that, right? That's what we did right now. Level 3 was ad group, and that's where we are. So as you can see, ad group name. Now I told you underneath every campaign, we can have 10,000 ad groups, and underneath every account, we have 10,000 campaigns. As of now, we have just created one campaign, but this has to go further. The first campaign, the first ad group is ready. But later on, once this is all done, we can go ahead and create as many campaigns and as many ad groups underneath. So this is for the first time that we are creating the first campaign and first ad group. Let's say this ad group name, we can type in as ad group number 1. That's the name we are putting across. Now, as you can see, these are the elements, guys. When I was making you understand the ad extension example, I was telling you that there are certain default elements. There are certain default elements of an ad. And here are the default elements. The final URL comes in first. Now, final URL and path are two different things. Which you are seeing over here, the path thing which you are seeing over here is going to be the URL which will be displayed. There are two sort of URLs which will come. Let's go to KnowledgeWood website and see for the digital marketing course internal page in the new tab. Yeah, last one. Did you guys observe they have got a pipe symbol also in their title tag? If you do their source code, the title tag has got pipe symbol. Now, we don't want to get the visitors land onto the homepage, that's for sure. Since we are not promoting the homepage, we are not promoting everything. We do want an internal page, which is the digital marketing page. Let's go to all courses, the third tab, third bar in the top menu. And in this, you see the digital marketing one option.
Should I click on that?
Yeah, absolutely. Alright, so we've got a form fill up on the left hand side of this page. Let's say this is going to be my landing page, guys. I want people to click onto my ad. The moment they will click onto my ad, they will land over here. This is going to be my landing page. Landing page, destination page, or final URL. I mean, they all are same. So my landing page URL, which we have over here on the top, or the final page URL, or the destination page URL, they can all be the same. Landing page, destination page, or the final page are the same name for a particular page, which will open up the moment somebody will click onto an ad. So the URL which is there on the top of this page, we'll copy this URL as in the web address. So it's Command C. No worries.
Where am I?
Go to the last tab.
Here?
The one on the right now. The extreme right.
Extreme right. Here?
No, the digital one. This one.
Okay, digital.
Right. Now, this is being copied.
Yeah, it's already copied.
Command C, you have done Command C?
Yes.
Okay, now you have to go back.
That's what I was searching.
Oh, okay. Which one?
Is
this one? No,
no,
not this one. And one next. Let's go to this one. Okay, not even this one. To this one. Not even this
one. Where it is?
Try the other one.
This one? No.
Is there any other one to open up? Not this one. One second. Just minimize this entire Google Chrome.
Minimize.
Just watch it on this or some. Minimize comes on the left hand side. I know this is black. So extreme left, the yellow dot in between. The yellow dot. Yeah. There you go. All right. So in final URL, you will just paste this across. Command V.
Not coming.
It's not happening.
No, that's me. I can do it.
All right. So Control C doesn't work over here. It's Command C basically.
So Command C.
Right. Okay. Now in the what do you say? Drop down underneath, you see Chrome. No, not this one. Extreme right now. Extreme right way. More right, and yeah, this one actually. Now go to the last tab. Okay. Now this is you have to click in the browser where the URL is there. Yeah. Okay. Absolutely. Now do Command A, Command and then plus A. Right. Then Command C. Minimize it. All right, final URL and Command V. Perfect.
I did come from Control C.
Right, folder. Yeah. All right, so final URL, guys, is the URL of the landing page, the destination page, or the page where people will land after they will. Headline 1 is going to be 30 characters. Headline 2 is going to be 30 characters. The way we understood the character stuff in the title tag and meta tag in SEO, the same procedure works over here, which is that character over here stands for one single alphabet. So if I am typing digital, so D is one character, I is another second, G, I, T, A, L. For digital, if I type in 7 characters are there. Then there is a space. Even space is counted as an 8 character. And then marketing would be with M would be the 9th character. Alright. So with that being said, we'll have headline 1 and headline 2. We can type in as of now, let's say digital marketing course. Usually, this is to be well thought of and then put in across.
In Noida?
In Noida, right? We don't have space. Wait. See, it's coming in red.
Oh my.
So let's have digital marketing course on the. Okay. Now on the right hand side, you can see there's a preview which you can which is coming up. Your overall ad, how it's going to look like in a mobile device, and how it's going to come in a desktop device. That's also visible for you. In headline 2, we can type in anything else. Let's say.
In Noida? Will it show here now?
Yeah, so we can type in Noida. And comma, let's say comma SEO. Okay. We type in Noida, comma, SEO, Google AdWords. Let's
again,
not
comma?
Google AdWords, e-commerce marketing. Okay, again, we will be short of characters now. Okay, fine. Now, another thing which I want to let you know, as you can see, we have used across quite a lot of capitals over here.
Yeah.
Google doesn't allow that.
Doesn't it like?
So we have to put in across E and O in small, and in marketing also K, T, and G, we have to put across in small.
So every initial will be even with the small letter.
I'm sorry?
Every initial letter will also be with the small.
Initial can be with caps, right? So like in SEO, S can be in caps, but E and O has to be in small.
And with this hyphen.
But this is absolutely okay after hyphen. Right. Now the next thing is guys path. The path which you're seeing over here is the overall URL which you will be depicting to in your ad. It is not necessarily going to be the URL of an existing web page. Knowledgewoods.com, which is your domain, that is by default, it will come for sure. It's been picked up automatically from the final URL. Okay. Now, whatever path you will enter over here, let's say I type in digital in this first, which is in the first bar, it allows me 15 characters. And the second one, which is also 15 characters, I type in marketing. Now, the purpose of writing this entire path is just the display purpose, just to beautify my app. That's it. Otherwise, if we copy this URL and then paste it in a new tab, there won't be any page. There won't be any page. If you have certain page in your website which comes in this specific figure, this specific, I would say, character limit, then you can type it. Usually, you do not have that in most of the websites. I'm saying it again, the path is for the beautification of your ad. Otherwise, the main URL which you want is the final URL. The moment somebody will click on the headline, only the headline element of your ad is clickable. Wherever you will see in your Google, the moment you type across something in Google, the ad which will come, it will not have this section or this section clickable. It's going to be always the headline section clickable. The moment somebody will click onto these headlines, the page which will open up is going to be this one, which you have entered in final URL. The final URL is not going to be shown, it's not getting displayed. It is just for, at the back end, it's doing its work. It's going to be open, it will open up. And this one, the path which we are seeing over here, which is getting displayed, again, like I said, it's a display URL, not for the purpose of giving the exact place where things would be there. This is for beautification. Now, I will like to reiterate that the character limit for headline 1 was 30 characters, and for headline 2, it was 30 characters again. So 30, 30, and for path, it was 15 characters in the first box, and 15 characters again in the second box. So 30 characters, and 15 and 15 over here. Now, another question comes in, how much character limit is there in the final URL? It's 204. That is pretty massive. Because usually the landing page URL can be as much, can be quite long. So it's 204 in final URL, 30 over here, 30 in headline 2, 15 and 15 over here. The description part, which is this content which is going to come, that is 80 characters. So we can type in, get free website, let's say, free website to learn and implement digital marketing. I mean, I'm just trying to tell you anything which is coming in your mind. Learn and implement digital marketing. Implement digital marketing techniques. Right. Let's say we can have contact now. Maybe we can type in that. Or call now, whatever. Alright. So
it's -1 again.
Okay, so the space between comma and C, you can reduce that. Alright. We can go further down, and the ad has been done. Okay. So when we scroll further down, the ad has been created. Smooth slowly. Now comes in this keyword, small keyword planner, you can say. Keyword suggestions have been given. Now, how these keyword suggestions guys have been, they are coming across over here. Google has seen our final URL. We provided final URL in the ad. On the basis of the content which is there on our website, entire website, there are keywords which are being recommended over there. Keywords are being recommended by Google on the basis of the final page URL or the entire website basically. I know on our, final page URL which we have given, it is all about digital marketing. So why not only digital marketing keywords are being suggested? It's just that Google is looking at the entire website and giving them suggestions. Don't go blindly and select any one of those. You have to do applying your mind and see for which all keywords you have to. Again, that same keyword analysis which we did for SEO, which Nandita will email across the recording link for you. So once we have found out the keywords, we can type in over here. Let's type in a couple of keywords: digital marketing course and digital marketing training. enter.
I've written, I think, G. Yes. Should I enter?
Enter, yeah, absolutely. There has to be entered. Enter needs to be pressed, otherwise it will be
Digital
considered as non-keyword.
marketing.
That's it, training. And I'm just taking a couple of examples. It could be several combination combinations. Now go further down. Let's scroll further down the page. Now just click on to set up billing later. Now what needs to be done? We have got the bid, which is now, as you can see, the bid which we had mentioned earlier. The bid which we mentioned earlier in the campaign level, that is again shown over here, and this is the ad group level. In the ad group level, I am being asked again, what is the bid which you want to enter? And this bid, 10 rupees, is going to be implemented for all the keywords which we select over here. But it says you can set keywords level bids separate. I told you bids are put in across at 2 level, ad group level, and the keyword level. Initially, you put up across at the ad group level. Now, once you have set it up, you can go ahead and change it for every single keyword which you want. Let's click on setup billing later. I don't want you to put in debit card, credit card as of now. If you want to run, maybe at a later stage, you can do that. And I'll see if I can give you certain coupons. I'll find. Now, can you see certain suggestions are also coming in that if you want to be on the first page for these keywords, the first page bid estimate is 46 rupees for digital marketing training. And for the digital marketing course, keyword is 58 rupees and 41, for example. Right? So your search ad is complete, guys. There are more things about keyword, match types, and so forth, which we'll talk about in next session, and also ad extensions we'll talk about in next session. And also there is something called conversion mapping. So conversion, which I was talking about, that you can get to know whether conversions are happening or not. Google will not give you straight away like this. You have to tell to Google, you have to inform Google that what is the definition of conversion for you. Is it a sale on your website? Is it a form fill up? Is it a video watch? Is it just a particular person landing on your website? You call that in. Try to practice this stuff which we have done just now. This is part recorded. I'll share the recording for this. Right?
Can we specifically mention, like, a person comes to our website and only we get charged only if he clicks on contact us?
No.
No.
I'll then rather go ahead and let Google know that please charge you only when he buys.
I mean, when the sale thing is done.
Yeah, that is not possible. That is something called affiliate marketing. In affiliate marketing will happen. If that will happen, then everybody will open their businesses.
No, I mean, certain charge for the coming on our website.
And certain charges.
We are sharing things.
I hope that business model Google understands the So Google is the king. They are pioneers, and they always do which they find it to be profitable for them. More profitable to them. Definitely, they want to get the profit to be transferred to the advertisers and customers also. But at the end of the day, we cannot go for a situation where it's only beneficial for the other parties and not for them. They might be working on that model. You can't simply say at one given point of time, it might not.
But here we can change our bid strategy.
Absolutely right. Now, this is the keyword level bidding which we can change. Try to click on that 10 rupees thing.
Yeah.
Absolutely on the top of 10. Then you can put it to 12 and so forth.
Whatever amount it is giving, we can put
Absolutely.
that.
When you put in 12, now your bid will change from 10 for this specific keyword. So what has happened, either you put across bid on an ad group level or a keyword level. If you do not change at a keyword level, your default bid for all the keywords will be taken from the ad group underneath which it keywords fall. Every keyword has every ad group has got multiple keywords. If I have put in across my default bid as 10 for a specific ad group number 1, this is ad group number 1. For ad group number 1, my default bid was 10. For all the keywords underneath this ad group number 1, it would be 10 altogether. Till the time I do not individually change it. Make sense? Any last few questions, guys? First page bid estimate, actually Google is giving us a suggestion that if you want to be on the first page, go ahead and increase your bid from 12 rupees, whatever your bid is, to 46. Initially, you do not have a quality score. So this is what I was recommending, that put across a bit at a higher level initially. But once your keyword, in the next session, I'll also show you where the quality score is being shown. So quality score also gets shown for every keyword. Okay, just click onto this bubble thing where it says below first page bid. This bubble. Yeah. Now it says pending review. And can you see it says quality score? It says there aren't enough impressions or clicks to accurately determine the quality. Once your ad will start running, it will show 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10, 6 out of 10, 4 out of 10. It will show you quality score by when you click onto all these bubbles right next to every single keyword.
That will be on basis of CTR.
CTR, landing page relevancy, and ad page relevancy. Makes sense? I know there's a lot of content to consume, guys. Consume this content first, understand this, rework on it, create multiple campaigns, multiple ad groups, work on all these concepts which we have understood across, so that we get a good grade on it. And then next Saturday we'll talk.
This first page bid estimate, this is only for the first page, it's not for the first ranking. This is only for the first page, not for first ranking.
Not for first ranking, not absolutely. First ranking it's not. It can be anywhere on the first page. Right. Alright guys, I'll make a move and I'll show you certain tools. So I've got a pretty impressive tool. It's called InstaPage. I use that for creating landing pages. For a WordPress, it's a great one. You can log out. Okay. Alright, I'll definitely take your this query of yours. So type in, just note down all your queries. I'll be more than happy to. Oh, right. Okay. So I'll record the session and give it to you. That's what I can do. Yeah.